Let me tell you something right now. The greatest investment you will ever make is in you, not in somebody else's opinion, not in distractions, not in chaos. You've got to learn how to focus on yourself, not because you're selfish, but because you're responsible. See, most people are busy trying to fix the world while their own life is falling apart. They're experts in everybody's business, but amateurs in their own purpose. You cannot transform anything outside until you align what's inside. You want to see change, stop talking about it, stop posting about it, stop begging for it, start becoming it. Change doesn't come from noise, it comes from silence. Real power doesn't shout, it whispers. See, the loudest people often have the least results. You're out here talking about success when success don't even know your name yet. Get silent, disciplined, get focused. When you're doing real work, you don't have time to broadcast every move. The tree that grows the tallest makes the least noise doing it. There's a reason why God said, be still and know. Because in stillness, you access a clarity that confusion can't touch. In silence, you find direction. And when you stop seeking validation, you finally discover your own value. Every breakthrough you're praying for is waiting behind your decision to go all in on yourself without apology, without distraction, and without noise. Focus is your superpower. While others are competing, comparing, and complaining, you're building, you're growing, you're becoming. And one day, the life you built in silence will speak so loud the world will have no choice but to listen. But don't do it to prove them wrong. Do it to prove yourself right. You were created with purpose, power, and potential. The question is, will you activate it? Stay silent, stay sharp, stay focused, and watch how life changes. Self-mastery precedes life mastery. Until you learn how to manage yourself, your thoughts, your time, and your emotions, you will remain a victim of circumstances instead of a creator of outcomes. Everything begins with the internal. The outer world is just a reflection of the inner world. People spend years trying to fix the external, more money, more followers, more recognition, but nothing sticks because the foundation is broken. You cannot build skyscrapers of success on the sand of confusion. You've got to become the person who can handle what you are asking for. And that begins with self-mastery. Self-mastery is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about telling yourself the truth even when it hurts. It's about waking up and realizing that nobody owes you discipline, nobody owes you motivation, nobody owes you clarity. These are things you develop through deliberate and consistent practice. You want to master life, then master your habits, master your mindset, master your energy. Life does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. The results you're getting right now are not a punishment or a reward. They are a reflection. If you don't like the harvest, change the seeds. The first seed of self-mastery is awareness. Until you become aware of the stories you keep telling yourself, you'll remain stuck in a loop. People say things like, I always mess up, I can't stay consistent, I'm not good with money, I never catch a break. Understand this, your words become patterns, and your patterns become identity, and identity always wins. If you say you're inconsistent, you will live inconsistent. If you say you're weak, you will behave like you're weak. You've got to renew your mind before you rebuild your life. You can't outperform your self-image. You cannot rise above the version of yourself you've accepted. Self-mastery requires sacrifice. You can't take everyone with you. You can't take every distraction with you. You can't keep all your excuses and grow. Excuses are expensive. They cost you time, they cost you growth, and they cost you destiny. When you're focused on mastery, you don't have time to be offended, you don't have time to be lazy, and you don't have time to entertain gossip or drama. That's not arrogance, it's alignment. You've got to stop living like you've got time to waste. Every day you wake up without discipline, you delay your own destiny. People who master life understand that emotions are temporary, but consequences are permanent. So they don't make decisions based on how they feel. They make decisions based on what they've decided. You've got to train your mind to show up even when your body doesn't feel like it. Discipline is not comfortable, but neither is regret. Which pain do you want? The pain of pushing through or the pain of wishing you had? Most people are waiting for the right time. They're waiting to feel ready, but champions don't wait. Champions train. Champions act. Champions understand that discomfort is the price of elevation. When you master yourself, you don't need external motivation. You become your own engine. You show up because you gave your word. You keep going because your future is more important than your feelings. You push forward because you know the version of you that you're becoming is worth every sacrifice. Mastering yourself is learning how to command your time. Time is the most valuable resource you have, not money, not attention time, because once it's gone, you don't get it back. Self-mastery means you schedule your priorities. You don't wait until the end of the day to see what you can fit in. You structure your day around your goals. You don't get distracted every time the phone rings or the world makes noise. You protect your energy because you understand you're building something eternal. You're not just living for today, you're living for legacy. Life mastery is a result of intentional living. People who drift through life never experience greatness. You can't casually become powerful. You can't stumble into greatness. You've got to be intentional about what you feed your mind, who you surround yourself with, and what you tolerate. Every time you compromise, you delay the future you're called to build. You've got to raise your standards, not just in what you expect from others, but what you demand from yourself. If you say you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah.
If you set a goal, crush it. If you commit, follow through. You want to change your life, change your patterns. And to change your patterns, you must first change your priorities. It starts with waking up and asking yourself, who am I becoming through these actions? Who am I becoming through these habits? Who am I becoming when nobody's watching? Because the real you is not who you pretend to be on your best day. The real you is who you consistently are on your worst day. When you focus on self-mastery, you stop blaming, you stop complaining, you stop waiting, you start creating, you stop wishing and start working. You understand that you are not a victim, you are a vessel. And when you operate from that truth, everything changes. You speak differently, you walk differently, you attract differently. Life responds to the version of you that's fully committed to growth. And that version only shows up when you master the self. So if you want to master anything else in this life, start by mastering you. Silence is strength in disguise. In a world addicted to noise, the person who can stay quiet becomes powerful beyond measure. Everybody's talking, everybody's reacting, everybody's trying to prove something. But the person who stays silent while working, building, and evolving is the one who ends up commanding the room when it truly matters. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not submission. Silence is strategic. Because when you are silent, you can hear what others miss. When you are silent, you can observe without judgment. You can gather information, you can reflect, and you can grow without interruption. Most people are too loud to learn. They are too busy defending their flaws, too busy explaining their every move, too busy trying to impress the crowd that isn't even paying attention. But the wise know that silence is the ground where transformation happens. When you choose silence, you step out of the chaos. You remove yourself from the emotional roller coaster of the world. People talk too much because they seek validation, they crave attention, they fear being forgotten. But what they don't understand is that attention without preparation is a curse. The spotlight will expose you if you haven't built in the shadows. Real strength is built in silence. The gym is quiet when you're working. The early morning grind is quiet. The discipline behind closed doors is quiet. The late nights, the missed parties, the sacrifice, it's all silent. But one day, the silence will speak louder than your words ever could. You don't have to announce every step. You don't have to explain every decision. Let your results do the talking. Let your fruit prove the root. Too many people are trying to defend their dreams instead of developing them. They want to be seen before they're ready. But real impact doesn't come from being seen. It comes from being solid. And you get solid in silence. You get clear in silence. You get focused in silence. The person who can master their mouth can master their mind, because the words you don't say give you power. The things you choose not to respond to give you clarity. Silence gives you space to think. It gives you the ability to respond rather than react. Sometimes the best move is no move at all. Sometimes silence is the most strategic thing you can do. When people misunderstand you, stay silent. When they underestimate you, stay silent. When they doubt you, stay silent. because what they think doesn't define what you become. And if you stay focused long enough, the silence will give birth to undeniable proof. You don't have to defend your path to people who were never assigned to your purpose. Let them talk, let them speculate, misgauge it. Your future will answer them. Your success will speak in ways your mouth never could. Silence also teaches discipline. It forces you to deal with yourself. No distractions, no applause, just you and your choices. It reveals the truth about desires and your decisions. It strips away the image and exposes the reality. And only those willing to face themselves in silence will rise strong in the world. Silence is the training ground for greatness. It's where you learn patience, where you gain perspective, where you build endurance. It's where you start to value peace over popularity and purpose over praise. When you stop broadcasting everything, you reclaim your power. You don't weed anyone a play-by-play of your growth. You don't have to share every detail of your process. In fact, the more you share, the more you invite doubt and distraction. Keep your goals sacred. Keep your moves private. Keep your discipline sacred. There's a difference between being known and being respected. Popularity fades. Power remains. And true power is always rooted in self-control. Silence isn't just about what you don't say. It's about what you do with the energy you would have wasted. It's about redirecting that energy into your growth, into your vision, into your mission. People who are serious about changing their lives don't have time to argue. They don't chase likes or attention. They chase alignment. They chase truth. And truth doesn't need to shout. Truth just is. You don't have to explain your new habits. You don't have to justify your isolation. You don't have to convince people why you stop showing up in rooms that don't serve your purpose. When you're evolving, silence is your shield. It protects your growth while it's still fragile. It guards your vision while it's still forming. People will always talk. Let them. You stay in the lab, stay in the work, stay in the silence, because one day the silence will erupt into a sound the world can't ignore. The very people who overlooked you will start to ask how you did it. The ones who laughed will sit quietly while your name is called. But don't do it to prove them wrong. Do it because your calling deserves your full attention. Your future deserves your full focus. And the only way to access that kind of clarity is through silence. You become powerful when you learn when to speak and when to remain silent. Not every comment deserves a reply. Not every insult deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Silence creates separation from the noise. It builds a wall between you and the chaos. And in that wall, you find space to build, to heal, to align. Your greatness isn't loud. It's consistent. It's rooted. It's unshakable. And that kind of greatness is forged in silence. So stop trying to be everywhere. Stop trying to be heard by everyone. Get quiet. Get focused. Stay silent and watch how life changes. The world mirrors your inner work. Everything you experience externally is a reflection of what's happening internally. Your relationships, your finances, your opportunities, your environment, they're all responding to the energy you carry and the beliefs you operate from. People keep trying to change the world around them without changing the world within them. But that's not how transformation works. If you want different, you have to become different. The results you see are nothing more than the echo of your own mindset and effort. Life is not happening to you. Life is responding to you. And if you keep attracting the same problems, the same drama, the same lack, it's not a coincidence. It's a signal. The world is holding up a mirror and it's showing you what you need to change. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Your internal state is always being reflected back at you. If you walk in fear, you find more things to fear. If you think everyone is against you, you'll find evidence to support that belief. If you live with scarcity in your heart, even abundance will feel like a threat. But when you start doing the work on yourself, when you start rewiring your thoughts, elevating your self-image, renewing your habits, everything begins to shift. Not overnight, not instantly, but inevitably. Because you're no longer operating from the same frequency that created the old reality. Most people try to control others before they've learned to control themselves. They want to change situations without changing strategy. They want a breakthrough without breakdown. But the truth is you have to tear down the old mindset to build the new life. You can't take dysfunction into destiny. You can't take chaos into calling. You have to do the inner work. You have to face the truth. You have to be willing to sit in silence and ask yourself the hard questions. What do I truly believe about myself? What are the stories I keep repeating? What are the habits I keep justifying? What part of me is responsible for the pattern I hate? To see this kind of honesty isn't comfortable. But it's the only path to freedom, because when you own your role, you take your power back. You realize that nothing changes until you do. The relationship doesn't change. The business doesn't grow. The opportunities don't appear, because all of it is being filtered through your inner world. Your perception is your projector. If the lens is dirty, everything looks broken. But once you clean that lens through inner work, you see life with new clarity. You stop blaming. You stop complaining. You start building. You start attracting. When you put in the inner work, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, your environment follows. The way you talk changes. The way you walk changes. The way people respond to you changes, not because they changed, but because you shifted. And when you shift internally, everything must realign externally. That's the law. That's how it works. You elevate yourself and watch the world elevate its response to you. This is why discipline matters. This is why self-reflection matters. This is why healing matters. Because when you're healed, you stop bleeding on people who didn't cut you. When you're focused, you stop chasing things that drain you. When you're aligned, you stop tolerating what doesn't serve your future. You start protecting your peace. You start walking with purpose. And suddenly new doors start opening, not because the world changed, but because you did. You have to be the kind of person who can carry the vision you've been given. That takes work. That takes sacrifice. That takes solitude. That takes commitment. You can't keep saying you want a powerful life while living from a powerless place. You can't keep waiting for circumstances to shift. You shift first. You get your mind right. You get your spirit strong. You get your habits in alignment. And watch how the world starts mirroring that transformation. The world will always reflect your patterns, your beliefs, your values. If you don't value yourself, if the world won't either, if you believe you're not worthy, you'll attract situations that affirm that. But the moment you raise your standards, the moment you set boundaries, the moment you begin to believe you were made for more, the mirror changes. Life begins to look different, not because it suddenly became fair, but because you finally decided to grow. Growth isn't glamorous. It's hard. It's repetitive. It's silent. But it's powerful because it changes you at the root. And when the root changes, the fruit changes. The world can't give you what you refuse to give yourself. So if you want more love, love yourself. If you want more respect, respect yourself. If you want more opportunity, show up like you deserve it. That's how it works. The mirror doesn't lie, it only reflects. So if you don't like what it's showing, it's time to change what it sees. Stop trying to manipulate the reflection. Work on the original image. Because once you master the internal, the external has no choice but to respond. You don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You just have to become it. Become the version of yourself that your future requires. Not the one that settles, not the one that hides, but the one that owns it all, the one that leads, the one that builds, the one that inspires. And once you commit to that level of transformation, watch how the world mirrors it right back to you. Discipline in private equals breakthroughs in public. The real battle is not what you do when everyone's watching, but what you do when no one is. What are your habits behind the scenes? What are your thoughts when it's just you in silence? What do you choose when there's no applause and no eyes on you? That's where your destiny is decided. That's where champions are built. Everybody wants the results, but few want the routine. Everybody wants the spotlight, but few want the solitude. But if you want a public life of purpose, you must have a private life of discipline. Your breakthrough will not come from doing more in public. It will come from doing more in private. It will come from getting serious about your habits, your mindset, your prayer, your meditation, your time management. What you do in the dark prepares you for what's coming in the light. You can't fake preparation. You can't pretend consistency. Eventually, life will expose what you either built or neglected. And too many people are being exposed when they should be exploding. They're being revealed as unready when they could have been revealed as unstoppable. The difference is discipline. Discipline means you do it when it's hard. You do it when it's boring. You do it when you feel like quitting because your goals don't care how you feel. Your vision doesn't adjust based on your mood. And if you only move when you feel motivated, you'll never move far. You've got to train your mind to follow through no matter what. Because there are days when your feelings will lie to you. They'll tell you you're tired when you still have energy. They'll tell you you're overwhelmed when you're just distracted. Discipline is not the denial of rest. It's the refusal to let temporary emotions ruin eternal assignments. People want to win in public, but they're losing in private. They want blessings, but they're breaking their own boundaries. They want results, but they're avoiding responsibility. The truth is, discipline is not about punishment. It's about alignment. It's about honoring your purpose with your actions. If your dreams matter to you, your schedule will reflect it. If your calling is real to you, your habits will protect it. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not mystery. It's mastery. Mastery of your day, mastery of your thoughts, mastery of your routines. You cannot rise higher than your systems. You may have talent, you may have passion, but without systems and structure, you'll burn out or break down. Because passion without discipline is just hype. But passion with discipline becomes legacy. And legacy is not built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows. It's built at 5 a.m. when no one's clapping. It's built when you show up for your goals, even when nothing seems to be happening. That's where the power is. That's where the elevation starts. Discipline is the doorway to freedom. Most people think discipline is restrictive, but discipline is what unlocks true choice. Because when you're disciplined, you're not controlled by cravings. You're not a slave to emotion. You don't respond to life. You lead life. You decide. You move with intention. You build with strategy. And the people who build their lives with strategy are the ones who get to enjoy their lives with joy. Discipline gives you leverage. It gives you options. It gives you strength. Your private discipline shapes your public confidence. When you've done the work in secret, you walk into rooms with boldness. You speak with clarity. You act with certainty, not because you're pretending, but because you prepared. You know what it took. You know what you sacrificed. You know what's backing your words. You're not hoping it works. You know it will because you put in the hours. You put in the effort. And the reward is showing up in moments that matter with unshakable belief. You can't cheat the process. You can delay it. You can avoid it. You can talk about it, but you can't fake it. The process knows. The work knows. Your results will know. So if you want to win in public, start winning in private. Start showing up when nobody's asking. Start practicing excellence even when no one sees. Start building the habits that will sustain the pressure. Because success without foundation is failure waiting to happen. But success with discipline is success that lasts. The difference between winners and wishers is discipline. Everybody wants the result. Few want the routine. But those who embrace the routine will inherit the reward. Your future is not in the hands of chance. It's in the hands of your choices, daily choices, small decisions, simple disciplines done consistently over time. That's the secret. That's the formula. And it's available to everyone, but only the disciplined will claim it. If you want a better life, build better habits. If you want more impact, create more structure. If you want real confidence, stop faking and start forming. Because every act of discipline adds a brick to your foundation. And the stronger your foundation, the higher you can build. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for signs. Stop waiting for someone to come push you. Push yourself. Lead yourself. Discipline yourself. And one day the results will speak so loud you won't need to say a thing. Your life will become the testimony. Your work will become the message. And it all starts with what you do when no one's looking. That's where the breakthrough is born.